Namaste, friends. The topic of today's spiritual talk is divine love. In this topic, we will try to look at what is divine love. The topic comprises of two words, divine and love. Divine means something that's not from this world, something that's beyond this world. And love means to give. So divine love, in a way, means when someone from beyond this world is here to give, that is what we call as divine love. Now, how do we experience such a love? Well, it's very logical. In order to experience such a love, we have to meet or come in touch with someone who's from beyond this world. Anyone who's from this world or is situated or located in this world simply cannot help us. So then the question arises, how do we find such a person? In the path of Santmat, perfect living masters have tried to answer this question. They have not only tried to answer this question, they have exemplified it. They have shown how to actually experience this divine love. In my own experience, Master Ishwar, whom I consider to be a perfect living master, he explained it very nicely. He said that the love can come only from the perfect living master to us, and we respond to that love through our devotion. He also said that for us to be able to do devoted work or seva requires the grace of the master. So in many ways you can say that the word grace is synonymous to the word love. So, and the other thing which also comes to mind is that when you experience the love of the master, it is only then that you feel like doing seva for the master. And that is what makes you experience divine love. Divine love comes with surrenderance, and surrenderance comes with seva, and seva ultimately, as I said, comes through grace of the master. How do we actually get the grace of the master? The grace of the master is flowing, is continuously flowing like rain. It is we who need to collect it, who need to become more receptive to it. Masters have specified the method by which we can increase our receptivity. Masters have told us the do's and don'ts when we are living in this physical world that will help us become more receptive. Masters have told us that the only truth that exists in this world is love. Masters have told us that the most powerful entity in this universe or cosmos is love. Most of us want to experience love. All of us want to experience love, let me put it that way. But very few of us are actually able to experience it. Why is that? This is because most of us are always buried under a veil created by our own mind. The mind is a tool, it's a gadget, it's a device which cannot understand love. All it understands or all it is capable of is doing some number crunching. It's like a calculator. that works on logic. It is incapable of comprehending love, because love is beyond time and space. Anything which is beyond time and space is often in the Indian scripture referred to as para. Para means that's beyond. And anything that is physical or within the mental realms of time and space is referred to as apara. Masters are experts in paravidya, or the knowledge and practice of the beyond. Whereas non-masters, or those of us who have not yet realized our true self, I refer to them as non-masters, they tend to become experts in aparavidya. They tend to gather lot of knowledge, mental knowledge. They tend to gather a lot of memories, artifacts, facts, opinions, thoughts, philosophies, even experiences of the physical and mental nature. All of those constitute apara knowledge, the knowledge of this world, which cannot take us beyond this world. It can at best take us to the edge of this world, but it cannot take us beyond this world. The only way to go beyond this world, as masters explain, is when we come in contact, in direct contact, with a power that is coming to us directly from the beyond. And when that power pulls us, that is the only and only way in which we can experience the beyond, the pure love, the divine love. Divine love also has certain other characteristics. What are those characteristics? One thing I just explained is that divine love always gives, it never takes. Other ways of saying the same thing is that divine love is unconditional. There are no conditions. It's like a constant flow, a constant waterfall that's just falling. There are no conditions to it. It will come, it will inundate you, it will overflow, it will overjoy, it will serve, it will give. And for us to become loving is the objective, is the ultimate culmination of the spiritual path. When we become love, when we become pure love, when we stop expecting. And how does that happen? Well, till the time our attention is dwelling within the mental realm, we are being the mind and we are being the body. When we try to act in this world as being the mind or the body, we continuously try to expect things from others. Even when we believe that we are serving others, there is a subtle expectation inside of us, which is constantly expecting, which is constantly desiring. So these are the traits of the mind. So then how do we actually become our true self, which is pure love? The way to do that is prescribed by the masters on the path of Sant-mat. And that way is through Seva. We have to do Seva for this creation while we are here. We have to do Seva for people around us. We have to do Seva for the plants around us. We have to do Seva for the animals around us. We have to do Seva for the non-living objects around us. For example, the desk, the chair, the house that we live in, the car, the slippers that we wear, the shoes. How often do we wash them? Small things. So we have to look at everything around us with love. And this happens when we start getting filled with love. And the way to get that is to come in contact with a perfect living master. Because they are love personified. When we come in touch with them, it's like having touched a 10,000 volt electricity pole. You will get it, you'll get the electricity. You'll just get it. So love cannot be explained, love cannot be learnt, love cannot be purchased or bought. Love just comes and we can receive it. We can become it. When we become love, everything that we do starts to happen magically, perfectly. Our life becomes full of perfection automatically because love is perfect. Anything that is not love is imperfect. We often try to find love in this world. We often try to find love, for example, in the opposite sex. And that's typically what is portrayed as love in this world. If you go watch a cinema, or you talk to people and they talk about love, they are usually referring to someone of the opposite sex that they want to, that they feel good spending time with, or they kind of like to sit with or do some activities together. So that's what is referred to as love in this world. But that's not the true definition of love. In fact, that is attachment, and that's a mental trait. In love, there is no pain. In love, there is always happiness, eternal happiness. In love, there is no fear of separation because there cannot be any. In love, there is no expectations and therefore there is no pain. When someone we believe we love leaves us in this physical world, we feel pain. That tells us that what we had with that person or object was in fact attachment. Because when attachments break, they give pain. Whereas when love fills us, it does not leave us ever. And when we have love for someone, we are one with that person. There is no longer two, there is only one. So there is no question of separation, and therefore there is no question of pain. When we get filled with love, we also get filled with confidence. We also become courageous. We all doubts leave us because we know with sureness. It's just like when you are awake, you know you are awake. As Master Ishwar used to say, when you wake up and if 10 people surround you at that instance and say and tell you that you are still sleeping, you will not believe them because you know that you are awake. Similarly, when you are in love, you just know it, and it happens. It's a gift that comes to us from the beyond. It's a gift from our master. So for those of us who have tasted that love, I congratulate. For those of us who have not yet tasted that love, but who want to taste that love, the way to get to it is taught by the masters. It is to seek in your heart. It is to seek. It is to pray. It is to surrender to the Supreme, to the Almighty, and seek for it. That's the way. When we do that, automatically, through coincidences, a perfect living master finds his or her way to us and makes connection with us. It is not our job to find the master. It is in fact our job to seek. The more we seek in our heart, the more we surrender to the Lord, to the Almighty, the faster a perfect living master comes into our life. So next time you feel like you want love in your life, think about a situation where someone did something for you and you felt really grateful towards that person. Now try to think, is there something you can do for someone around you that will make that person feel the same for you? That is one way of getting close to experiencing love. When we work selflessly for the creation of the Lord, it is Seva for the Lord. And when we do it by keeping remembrance of the Lord all the time, it becomes selfless, and then you are not working with expectations. When you're not working with doership. When you surrender the doership to the Lord and you just work and you have no desire for the fruit, you're just working because you want to serve the Lord. You don't have any passion anymore. Passion is a mental trait again. To do anything in this world, you need passion. Those who work without passion are not able to do so well. But on the spiritual path, there comes a time when you have to give up passion, because you no longer are working for yourself. You no longer are working to get joy. You no longer are working to get pleasure of any kind. Passion is often a result of our desire to get a particular type of joy, and it comes by doing a particular type of activity, either outside in the world or mentally inside. It's the same. But Seva, selfless Seva, is not done with the expectation of getting any kind of joy. It is done primarily to give joy, primarily to serve, and nothing more. And when we do that Seva, we have our attention in a single pointed way on the Lord or Master. The more we can practice this, the more we start to experience love. The only way to actually come in touch with love is to experience it. Reading books is not going to help us. Talking about it does not help either. The only way to experience love is to come in touch with a person who is full of love. So, my dear brothers and sisters, if you feel helpless at any point of time, try to use the power of love rather than just trying to use the power of your mind. When we are in a problem of any kind, we want to use our mind to solve that problem. I invite you to experiment instead by trying to use the power of love. The way to call upon this power, if you are initiated, you close your eyes, you remember your Master, you ask him for help, or even better, you just ask him to solve that problem for you, and then you just open your eyes and you start doing whatever comes into your mind at that point of time. Start using the resources that you find around yourself and give your best, and leave the rest to the Master. I often wonder on this topic of love, there seems to be so much that can be said, but at the same time, sometimes I feel there is nothing much to be said, because it's not something that we can explain to anyone, as I said. A loving hug from your beloved just says it all. A loving hug from someone who primarily wants to give, primarily wants to care for us, and who needs nothing in return, who doesn't put any conditions. That is pure love. And when we get that love, that's when we are truly satisfied. Even the mind is satisfied. The mind, which otherwise seeks pleasures and desires, becomes totally satisfied when there is experience of divine love or true love. So my friends, if you are on the path of spirituality, if you are engaged in spiritual practices, bear this thought in your mind that the ultimate culmination or the ultimate goal of spirituality is to become love. And when we become love, we become timeless. We become our true self. So with that, I come to the end of this spiritual talk. Thank you for listening to me.